zone. He throws. What a catch! C.D. Lamb for a Cowboys touchdown.
All right, welcome to our inaugural first ever podcast. I am Thomas Hart. This is my good buddy Houston Darden. And
well, this is the inaugural episode of the Gridiron Elite podcast. We're going to give you everything football. We got a lot of stuff to talk about going into this Divisional Round weekend. I got my notes, he got his, and we're about to dive into it. First game we're going to talk about today is the most anticipated game in my opinion, of the weekend. It's the rematch of the AFC Championship last year, Buffalo versus Kansas.
Well, first off, you just got to understand the Bills have the best defense in the league in points, averaging like 16, stopping the offense. I mean, the Chiefs, I think they can expose it. The Bills need to get out there and stop them on third down because I don't think they're going to be able to have a shootout with the Chiefs. I
think they can do it. I think the Bills, Josh Allen, I think he's capable enough to go toe-to-toe with the best passing offense in the league, in my opinion. The Chiefs, they have to contain them. Last time they played, like you said, they had 66 on the ground. You can't let a quarterback get 66 on the ground. They just got to contain them through the air and on the ground. Secondary has to be able to hold up. You can't have what happened earlier in the season and have a secondary that just allows everything. Sorensen, Juan Thornhill, two of the worst safeties in the league, allows a big play almost every game. And then they just got to keep a level head throughout the whole game because the Bills are not to be mistaken. They will punch you in the mouth. We saw that against the Patriots where they came out scoring, beat them, 44-17? Something like that.
Something along those lines.
It's going to be a game that's the night game at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So I think you should tune into that game right there. That's going to be interesting.
Just one more thing I will say. Josh Allen, he's going to be running like he has been recently. So let's put our middle linebacker for the Chiefs on there. Nick Bolton needs to stop the plays. He's been working really good. Third round pick out of Missouri, rookie. Good addition, I think. Just do that. I mean, pressure with Melvin Ingram, Chris Jones.
That's another thing Bill's got to do. Got to keep that D-line a non-factor because Chris Jones, he can disrupt the play just by being there. He gets the offensive line flustered, and then you're gonna have Josh Allen essentially running like a madman around the pocket, and that's gonna set up like some linebacker that's in the area to pursue and get a sack, and then momentum shifts to the Chiefs. That's something you can't allow. An injury report for this game is quite interesting. For the Bills, Stephon Diggs did not practice this week, so they're gonna want to hope he's in the game as their number one receiver. He has 1,200 yards on the season. Their number one receiver by far. If he's not in the game, Emmanuel Sanders is out, so they're gonna need Cole Beasley to step up big time, step into that number one receiver role, and just hope for the best from there. Because without Stephon Diggs, you don't get those deep plays you get. But you still got Dawson Knox, who's a solid tight end one, top 15 in the league, and you just gotta capitalize on some plays. As defensive coordinator, he's gonna be like the main thing to this game because the Chiefs, it's just an offensive mind. I don't even know how to put it. It's just a whole bunch of offensive minds over there. Eric Bieniemy, if that's how you say it.
Yes.
Then you got Andy Reid. It's just something. It's an offensive onslaught. Put it like that.
One last thing I will add is the Bills are really going to have to want it. They're going to have to fight in the trenches. The D tackles and the D ends are really going to have to get past that line.
Getting pressure on Mahomes.
Expose them. You can get payback from last year's AFC Championship, but you're really going to have to want it because it's not going to be easy.
And especially with Orlando Brown Jr. in addition this season from the Ravens, you're going to have, and he's he practiced this week, but we don't have a status on him yet. So if he's not in the game, you're gonna have to attack that, and you're just gonna have to go at their inefficiencies that are still there. You beat them once, can you do it again? That's the main thing today.
That's the main question.
Because regular season, you beat them, that's whatever, it's a game. But now you really don't have nothing to lose. But now we're in the divisional round of the playoffs. Me personally, I would like to see this game in the AFC Championship again. But you got a lot to lose on this game. You want to be looked at as the Bills that went to the AFC Championship last year and then get beat in the divisional round, or the Bills that lost in the AFC Championship, came back and beat that same team in the divisional and potentially move on to the Super Bowl. So this is Josh Allen's case to Josh Allen and Sean McDermott to prove that they're a top team in the league and stop being overlooked in a sense.
Well, do you have a prediction?
I'm going Bills.
All right, I'm going Chiefs 38-29.
That's a valid score.
All right.
That's a valid score. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, minimal field goals. Oh, one thing I forgot to say: Bills had the only game in NFL history in the Super Bowl era where a team scored a touchdown on every drive, no punts, no field goals, just touchdown after touchdown. So we're gonna hope we see that again out of them and just hope for the best.
All right, you want to move on to the 49ers Packers.
Let's go to that game. Interesting game. No one really expected San Francisco to be here. They expected it to be Dallas in some sense, but we saw how Dallas, they kicked the bucket again.
Yeah.
And it's just can they keep that momentum from that game going into this game? That's a big factor going into this one. With all these games, it's really about momentum. All right, next game we're going to be talking about is the Green Bay Packers versus the 49ers. Nobody expected 49ers to be here. You would have thought it was Cowboys, but San Francisco is going to have to use that momentum from the Cowboys game going into this one, because once you're going to Lambeau, it's going to be very cold with a chance of snow. So knowing you're from San Francisco, you played in an indoor stadium last week. Weather wasn't really a factor other than the sun.
Oh yeah.
But you got to go into this game knowing it's going to be cold. Your players got to buckle down. Quarterback can't throw balls hard because not to bring back the Bills, but that's what happened in that game against the Patriots. Receivers were like Josh Allen was throwing that ball very hard.
Yeah.
So you got to make it easy for the receivers, and you just got to go into Green Bay and kind of dominate, in a sense, because you can't really dominate the Packers, but you have to try.
Yeah, coming in, these 49ers are one of the better 10-win teams I've seen in a long time. Coming out of Vegas, they are a 6-point underdog to the Packers. Let's see if the Packers actually use this time in this bye week to get their team back healthy. I mean, Jair Alexander should be back this week, possibly David Bakhtiari, Zadarius Smith on the edge.
That's a fact that you need to. In my notes, I have they need to get Jimmy Garoppolo to make mistakes. Yeah, that requires rushing the passer, not giving him time to look at everything. With Jimmy Garoppolo, if you rush him, that opens him up to more mistakes. It was plenty of times in the Dallas game where they could have put it away, like that crucial interception closer to the end of the game. A lot of miss throws, like that one Brandon Ayuk throw, but you just can't have that now. You get away with it in the wild card, but you just can't do that in a divisional round. It's because everybody here they've proven they deserve to be here, and it's something you can't do.
I agree. The Cowboys shouldn't even have had a chance at the end of that one. The 49ers can't have that happen because they really want to get to the NFC Championship.
They want to get back to that point they were at in 2019, 2020.
Agreed. I think you were right about the weather. There's a low of 6 degrees and a high of 22. They are not ready for this, I don't think. It's a 50% chance of snow. And one thing I will add is if it's really bad weather, I mean, if you got to get some throws done, throw it to your reliable tight end, I think the second best in the league, and George Kittle. 1 reception, 18 yards is not going to cut it. I mean,
Yeah, this kind of weather, I don't think you want to look for the big play every time. You want to be slow, methodical, especially with the Packers. You gotta keep the ball away from them. Time and time again, Aaron Rodgers has proved too much time. That's no game. That's no contest. But Packers, in order to win this game, they have to shut down Debo, because anytime you see the ball in Debo's hands, it's either going for a touchdown, first down, 5 yards. It's something. It's rarely ever negative. But you can't take, just because Debo's there, you can't take your eyes off of Brandon Ayuk. Very young, smart receiver. Last game proved it when he fought for that first down at the late in the second quarter. But like I said, you got to make Garoppolo make mistakes and shut down the 49ers really running game, because Elijah Mitchell, late round draft pick, looking like he deserves to be first, second round. 963 yards on the season, and that's what you like to see out of a rookie. And we're just gonna hope that the O-line, Trent Williams, they can, get the clock rolling with a whole bunch of run plays. Then that'll set up the play action and then throw it deep to Debo. But it's gonna be an interesting game for sure.
Well, the 49ers only having about 6 days to get ready for this one. Nick Bosa.
Oh yeah, Nick Bosa out with a concussion. Yeah.
Fred Warner also had an ankle injury. Let's see how that works out.
It was a scary injury, by the way. I thought it was an ACL.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, that's something you hate to see in a wild card game. Late in the game too, when the game should really be put away, and your backup should be in the game. But what the 49ers need to do to have a chance at this game, they need to, like I said already, keep the ball away from the Packers, and then they need to try and shut down Devontae Adams, because as long as his route running is just crazy. He hits you with a 4-yard dig, takes it for 15 yards maybe if he wants to. You gotta give Jimmy a clean pocket. He has to be able to think, go through his progressions, all of that. You gotta keep him a clean pocket. So you need the whole O-line to be on their A game. It has to be an all-around good game from the whole team, starting from the team down to the coordinators, down to the position coaches.
I agree. It's going to be a matchup of Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan, two great offensive minds that used to work together. Kyle Shanahan was the OC in Washington a few years back. Matt LaFleur was, I believe, the receivers coach. See how this works out, especially since the Packers and Aaron Rodgers never beat the 49ers in the playoffs. They're 0-3. Coming back to that NFC Championship in 2019, 38-20.
I don't know. I think this is a different Packers team from 2019. This is a completely different Niners team from 2019. That D-line suffered some major hits over these past couple of years from 2019. Like DeForest Buckner, losing him in free agency. He went to the Colts, and he's looking like a top-tier interior lineman.
Former first-round pick Solomon Thomas, also free agency to the Raiders.
But now you just got Arik Armstead up the middle and Nick Bosa on the ends. So you gotta hope. You gotta get everyone involved. You gotta come up with some good pass rushes. It's crazy. This injury report is interesting. Azeez Al-Shaair, he didn't practice. He's questionable with a knee. And Dre Greenlaw, one of their better run linebackers, he's dealing with a groin injury. He's questionable. Almost everyone on this list is questionable. You don't like to see that Trent Williams is questionable, one of your number one lineman on that team. And it's something you don't like to see. Jimmy's hurt in that game and doesn't play. Trey Lance, first playoff start against the Packers in negative degree weather, but he played at North Dakota State, so they're used to that. So we'll see if he has to play with that. The Packers injury report, Jair Alexander, like we said, right now it says out, but his practice status is limited. David Bakhtiari, I think he's hopeful. Devondre Campbell, one of the top linebackers in the league, dealing with an elbow injury. He was limited in practice today, so you hope to see them back, and then Aaron Rodgers, you know, that turf toe he's been dealing with for most of the year. I think he suffered it earlier in the season, but you just gotta hope that all of these players are healthy going into this game, because you want full participation from everyone in this game. So it's just a matter of preparation going into this game, and that's about it.
That's about it. All right.
What game shall we talk about next for the fellow people?
All right. The next game we are going to move on to is the Bengals and the Titans.
Oh, another
Good one.
Another offensive game. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, teammates in LSU. That's no surprise. That's no reminder.
Safe to say the connection's still there.
Still there. We saw it the whole season. We saw it with Jamar Chase racking in over 100 yards in the wild card game against the
Las Vegas
Raiders. Which props to the Raiders, because they even made it that far with everything that happened this season.
Diversity.
But you just hope to see that the interim head coach becomes the head coach, considering he's the only interim to take a team to the playoffs.
It's crazy. All right. The Bengals, the 31-year drought, over. That's cool.
But
that's
you look to keep it going. That's not enough. That's not enough. You get one win. Joe Burrow, he said he tried to downplay it, because then that sets the bare minimum, and he wants to go all the way. He wants to get a Super Bowl, and that's what you like to hear out of a second-year quarterback. Guess you can consider him first year, since he was out with an ACL injury last year early in the season, but came back. He didn't, if anything, better than last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. You can't. Last game at the end, how the Raiders almost came back. Zach Taylor seemed like he took his foot off the gas a little bit. In playoff games, you really don't want to. You want to put the foot on their necks and keep that momentum going throughout the whole game. Carry that and throughout the playoffs, and use that against it to your advantage. Because some teams, they might have had a sloppy game, and coming in that game they're stressed because they don't want to have that other game. But and then you come in there confident in your players and your play calling as a coach. And Zach Taylor, a young coach, but shows he's coach of the year candidate and strongly.
I agree. I feel like the Bengals have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. I mean, they need to go out there and just beat the Titans. I mean, Derrick Henry looks like he might come back. I mean, that defense really needs to stop. Especially the Bengals' run defense is very good, but the pass defense is not so good.
Yeah, I think they're gonna need that good old line. I mean D-line. Sorry.
Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson,
all that. Larry Ogunjobi up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
They just need the D-line to generate some pressure, stop any runs from going past the line of scrimmage. That's how the Ravens got stopped in the playoffs last year. I mean, the Titans got stopped in the playoffs last year by the Ravens. They shut down the run game. He only had like 60-something yards on that game. Mm-hmm. You saw how they took away him. They took away him and then had to focus on the pass game, and that pretty much set them up for success at the end. But the Bengals need to look at that game, take some notes. They need to come into this game using that three-headed monster at receiver they have. T. Higgins had one catch for 10 yards last game, which I'm pretty sure he was dealing with an injury, but I think he's over it now. So now you just got to get the ball to everyone, because you know they're going to zone in on T. Higgins, the fifth receiver in receiving yards this year. And any team will focus on that top 5 receiver in the league, rookie. They're going to focus on him, try to get him out of his game. So that leaves Tyler Boyd at the slot, T. Higgins on the other boundary. That leaves them open for some big plays, and then you get the defense back on a level playing field where everybody's on an even matchup, where it's not somebody has a double team or not. So I just think you got to spread the ball around. Kevin Byard, he's going to have to not let no plays go past him, cornerstone safety on that team. He's gonna have to buckle down this game, and if anything gets behind him, he's gonna have to get there and try to disrupt the pass or something, stop a big run from happening. You can't, and with the elite pass game, the Bengals have, you can't forget about their run game. Joe Mixon back there, Samaje Perine who comes in the game sometimes. You can't. This whole team it's a well-rounded team, young team. You like to see that. Hopefully, wishing them best in the future. But right now, it's the divisional game. You gotta go back to what you know you're good at. You can't try to change nothing, and you gotta just hope for the defense to buckle down, because you don't want to see what almost happened at the end of that Raiders game. Derek Carr almost put together a immaculate comeback.
Came back to the last play.
And then, but the defense held down, got the pick, and sealed the game up.
Yeah, I got the Titans. I think they need to blitz, expose the Bengals' holes in their O-line. I mean, they've played a lot better, but you can definitely see last week with Max Crosby getting past that O-line's too easy.
You can't let Burrow get comfortable in that pocket, because if he's comfortable in the pocket, he's a dangerous quarterback, and you don't want to deal with a dangerous quarterback like Burrow with the receivers he has. He'll zip the ball into some tight spots, and he'll make those beautiful throws to where only the receiver can get it. So you just want to try and get him as uncomfortable as possible, while also containing those receivers. And the Titans, they just can't give up the big play at all at any time in this game, because that's what gives the Bengals a whole bunch of momentum. That big play. You saw it against the Chiefs when they played them second to last game of the season, I'm pretty sure. They got that big play, and then from there it was just an offensive onslaught. One of the few teams you saw go score for score with the Chiefs, other than the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Titans. I don't think the Titans have the offense that the Bengals have. It's gonna be another offensive game, and defense has to step up.
I agree. I really like the Bengals. I do. I think the moment is too big for Joe. I think he'll definitely be back. I think I got the Titans for this one.
I got the Bengals, because they can get the run game going, keep the ball away from the Titans and Derrick Henry possibly. I think you have a recipe for success, because you run the ball, set up play action, and late in the game, if you up, you run the ball more, run down clock and give that team, make them use timeouts for late in the game, so when they don't have any type of time to make anything happen. But I have the Bengals in maybe not so close, but a close game.
I agree. I do have the Titans, though. I think Ryan Tannehill needs to make smart throws. I think the two top corners on the Bengals, Mike Hilton and Chidobe Awuzie, they play a lot of zone, and they'll come out of nowhere and take the ball away from you. So play smart and hope for the best.
Yeah, the injury report for this week, quite interesting. Some lingering injuries from regular season. For the Titans, Julio Jones practiced fully, but he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Then another key player, Rogers Saffold, dealing with a shoulder injury. He practiced the whole practice. So you hope to see him play. And then on the Cincinnati side, you got Burrow. He's resting. You got to keep your quarterback healthy. Smart move by the Bengals. DJ Reader, another cornerstone on that D-line. He's out, but he's resting once again. And Sam Hubbard, questionable with a thigh injury. CJ Uzomah, he has to get involved, because that's their number one tight end. He makes some big plays. And then you got Evan McPherson, your kicker, dealing with a groin injury.
Never good.
Yeah. It's never good to see a kicker dealing with an injury in the playoffs, because those missed field goals can lead to disaster.
Agreed.
All
right, we're gonna move on to the last game.
In my opinion, one of the most anticipated games, second to the Bills and the Chiefs. But it is The Bucks versus the Rams.
Yes, in Tampa Bay.
In Tampa Bay, Matt Stafford coming off his first career playoff win against the ultimate beating against the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's safe to say.
You hope to see, once again, that momentum coming into this game against the Bucks. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl rings, more than any franchise in this in the league. And then coming into this game, Bucks demolished the Eagles, who, in my opinion, just weren't ready for that game. Coming in this game, the Bucks, they need to focus on stopping the big play from the Rams, because we saw they're not afraid with Sean McVay, an offensive genius. They're not you figured out at the beginning of the year, but they pulled it out at the end. They're not afraid to go for that big play. You saw it with that Odell pass. They're not scared. So as an opposing team, you don't like to see a team that's fearless, because in that Cardinals game, it was just an onslaught. The Cardinals didn't know what to do on defense. They were just flustered on all levels. In my opinion, the Rams got to get pressure on Brady. They have to win the turnover battle. That's crucial. We got to make Brady make mistakes, which I know is rare, but it does happen. We saw that with the Jets in the Saints game.
Yeah.
We got to get Brady to make mistakes. And the defense has to get off the field on third down. You don't want your defense to be tired out by the end of the first quarter, because the Bucks have a 10-minute drive.
Agreed. I think with this O-line on Tampa Bay, some of them are injured. You need to watch out for Ryan Jensen and right tackle
Tristan Wirfs. Yeah, that's a big injury. You don't like to see it. Cornerstone on that O-line. It's just horrible injury. High ankle sprain, I think.
I think.
And I think he was out early in the game. I think he would have been fine, but he came back, tried to play in the game.
Was just getting beat.
I think he re-injured it, which made it worse. So he was in a walking boot this week, which you like to hear that he's able to walk, but is he able to play? That's the main question today.
Yes. If they are able to come back healthy, even if not, they have a very good O-line. I think the Rams need to get past that O-line, the pass rush. I think they might have to double team, but if you get there and you put pressure on Brady, he might be able to throw some picks. Jalen Ramsey needs to step it up. He's playing very good.
Yeah, you got to shut down Mike Evans, the only receiver right now on that team, with Chris Godwin out early in the season, later in the season, but it was in the early stretch of the playoffs. Getting into the playoffs, we saw Mike Evans have something go on with his hand during that playoff. I mean, not the playoff game, but that game against the Panthers, which is something you don't like to see, considering they were up by a large margin. Panthers having nothing to lose, but really play draft positioning. So you don't like to see one of your only receiver that's available, your number one receiver that's available, to injure his hand. And as a receiver, it's hard to play the game of football with a hand injury of any kind. But the Bucks, they gotta get other receivers involved, knowing that the Rams are probably gonna put Jalen Ramsey on Mike Evans to try and eliminate him from the game. They can't. The Bucks, it's just all about spreading the wealth, trying to generate a run game. Both of these teams work well with a whole bunch of time on the clock, so I think both teams need to get the run game going. With Cam Akers back, they have a two-man backfield with Sony Michel and Cam Akers, and Cam Akers with 95 yards on that game. His first game of the season, actually, coming off of an Achilles injury.
It's ridiculous.
So do you You think it's a chance he re-injures it, or do you think the Rams are gonna still keep him as a conservative player, bring him in sometimes, but not too many?
I think he's fine. He played one game before week 17. He played a little bit, had like 5 carries, I believe. Didn't look too shabby. But then he played against the Cardinals. I think they're just going to use him. I think he's fully healthy. I think the Rams running back core with him and Sony Michel is going to be very good. I don't know about the Buccaneers though. Ronald Jones is out. Keyshawn Bond has ribs.
He didn't even practice this week.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Bond, he practiced, but rib injury is something you really don't want to
Never good on a running back.
Yeah, never want to deal with that from one of the main players taking hits during the game. But yeah, it's just a matter of, once again, coming into this game, preparation, keeping your players healthy, making sure they don't do nothing dumb over the week, especially after the games both of these teams had 2 beautiful games, 2 great games by the coaches. Put them in prime position. Both teams have momentum. Tampa Bay having the home advantage, so the Rams will want to come in and dominate off the jump.
Agreed. What you said about the Bengals and Titans, stick to what you're good at and don't even experiment. If you're working good, do the same thing in the playoffs. I think you let Tom run the offense, stick to passing, because the run game is not going to be very good with a non-mobile quarterback and 2 injured running backs.
We don't know what running back, if Keyshawn Bond can't play. We don't know who's going to step up.
No idea.
Yeah, but that Bucs pass rush on defense has to get there. JPP is out. He didn't practice. But you still got Vita, who just signed a 5-year extension.
Oh, yeah.
A premier interior D lineman, plugs up that hole in the middle. Hard to run anything at him, so you're going to have to utilize the outside. I don't think Shaq Bear's playing this game either, early in the season injury. But you wait to see to the day of, and hope all your starters can play and are in good shape and can help this team bring it and get on top and move on to the championship round.
Yeah, I agree. One problem I do have with the Buccaneers is this injury list. I mean, the corners.
Very lengthy.
The corners is what I'm thinking, Richard Sherman.
Sean Murphy bunting out. A nice lockdown corner on the boundary. But you still got Antoine Winfield at safety, who comes down to the box. Two aggressive safeties at that. Jordan Whitehead, nice box playing safety, kind of like Jamal Adams, but just with better coverage. Mm-hmm. You got Antoine Winfield, who has great coverage. Really can't get past him at all.
Good pick by them last year in the draft.
I don't think it was first day. It's like second, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Second round, I think.
Right.
Yeah, but it's gonna be an interesting week of playoff games. I feel like going into next week, I think the NFC and AFC championship. Me personally, I think it's gonna be a week of the upsets in AFC. I think it's gonna be Bengals and the Bills, and in the NFC, I got the Rams coming out on top in this one. So I think it's gonna be Rams against the the Packers. Yeah.
I agree. I think the Rams have the better run game. I think the rest of their players, let's see if Leonard Floyd can come back with an ankle injury. He's limited this week. I think he'll be fine, but I think the Rams will come out on top as long as Matt Stafford plays.
Doesn't do any foolish stuff like against the Colts that one game.
Too many interceptions at the end of the year. I was kind of worried for him in the playoffs.
Yeah, Tampa's a team you can't have throw any interceptions on, because they will use that momentum.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, crazy week for playoffs. Beautiful wild card week. I think the common theme coming into this game, a whole bunch of explosive offenses and every D coordinator has to be on their A game to stop any of these offenses, because there's a lot of top tier offenses, pass games, rush offense. It's a lot. So it's a matter of defense this week. So defensive guys, y'all are gonna love this game. Offensive, maybe not so much, but yeah.
Tune in for that Bills and Chiefs game if you want a little more offense.
You're on CBS.
5:30 Central. All right, I do have one NFL trivia question for you to end it off. How many rushing titles did Walter Payton have?
Walter Payton.
I think you'll be surprised by this one.
I think he had. I'm gonna say 2.
Okay, a little closer than I thought. He had 1.
1. That's wild. Walter Payton, a historically great running back. You would expect him to have more. But that wraps up the inaugural episode of Gridiron Elite. Share this with your friends, your football friends, anybody who just likes to listen to sports. Share this, get it spread. We're trying to grow here, and we'll see y'all next week.
See y'all next week.